I grew up in a small community north of Marietta on the Ohio River called Martins Ferry. Growing up, we didn't have much. We lived in low-income housing most of my life. We depended on food stamps. And I was one of 8 kids. We moved down here to Athens. I moved down here originally to study sociology. I was interested in learning about what the barriers are for hardworking families from gaining upward mobility in society. What is it that keeps hardworking families from being able to get ahead? So I stayed here, I studied sociology, I earned my bachelor's degree, and then I decided to stay a few extra years and spent the next 2 years working towards my master's in sociology. And at the master's level, you really start to learn about what specific types of programs and services need funded if you're going to help families get over those barriers and gain upward mobility. But the problem, though, even though you learn about what specific programs need funded, you don't necessarily know how to get them funding in the budget, how to make it work legally, how to institute it. So right now I'm finishing up my master's in public administration from the Voinovich School of Leadership and Public Affairs. I'm concentrating on public budgeting, tax policy, and financial management in government. I think right now in this district we have amazing opportunities to develop clean energy, jobs. Right now in the United States, there are more clean energy jobs than there are coal jobs. And folks just don't even realize that. And we have huge opportunities if we bring back the renewable portfolio standards that Strickland passed back in 2007. If we bring those back, we can start bringing these jobs back here to Athens County. These are good jobs. They come with great benefits. They're often union jobs. And during that time, after 2007 up until Senate Bill 310, over $1 billion in private investment came into the state of Ohio because of those renewable portfolio standards. Right now in this district, we got 4,000 small farmers. And last year they generated over $40 million in revenue, $40 million in sales. It's one of the biggest sectors of our local economy, and they need our support in the State House. They need our support, and they deserve a level playing field with big agribusiness. College affordability is one of the biggest middle-class pocketbook issues in this district. Right now in this district, we have 15,000 teenagers between the ages of 15 and 18. And the way I interpret that is that's about 15,000 families that are taking a hard look at how they're going to afford college in the next 3 years so that their kids can have a good future and get a good job. The problem, though, is that with tuition and fee increases continuing to exponentially rise, we're wiping out the savings of the middle class in this district, and we're bankrupting low-income folks and creating barriers to education and upward mobility and access to well-paying jobs. In the state of Ohio, we have 615,000 workers who are proud members of their local unions. And up and down the Ohio River, where I'm from, we got a number of steel plants, metal manufacturing plants. Even here in Athens County, we have a number of union workers who depend on their unions to give them a seat at the table with their employer and a say in their work and wages. Columbus has said it's perfectly fine for neighboring states like Pennsylvania to barge frack waste down the river that is banned from being buried in their state because it poses too big of a public health and environmental health issue. But they're allowed to barge it down our Ohio River, truck it up here into our county, and drop it down wells here on our land. Now this has got to stop. Senate Bill 165 has made it so that these companies only pay 20 cents per drum, not per gallon, per drum that they put in these wells. And that means you can put 500,000 barrels of frack wastewater in the ground and only pay $2,000. It's not at all prohibitive in cost, and they're just going to keep on doing it if we keep letting them. So I think folks in our district have spoken up. They're looking for someone who's going to go to the State House, who's going to stand up and tell Republicans in Columbus that they need to take this wastewater, take it back to their own damn county, and drop it down wells on their land. I don't believe in pandering to people. I believe in telling them. I don't want to sit up here and tell you folks what I think you want to hear. I'm going to tell you my issues and my values, and that's the way I think elections should be run.
My name's Chris Nutter, and I'm also a Carthage Township trustee. I'd like to know your position on gun control. Before you answer that, I'd just like to say I my concealed carry permit, and I often carry my gun with me quite often, actually, for personal protection of my loved ones, and what have you. So what's your position on gun control?
So I'm not here in any way to take away anyone's waterfowl shotgun, hunting rifle, revolver, concealed carry weapon, nothing like that. I will say I do not think in a modern society we should have access to assault weapons. In a society with 300 million people where people occasionally have bad days, access to assault weapons creates bad situations. It forces police to have to be able to respond to those situations, to have SWAT teams that can handle those. To answer your question, I think I'm kind of bipartisan when it comes to gun control. Yes, I would vote in favor of legislation to control access to assault rifles, but I would not vote in favor of any control on concealed carry permits or on hunting rifles or anything like that. So does that answer? Yeah. Okay.
Good enough.
How are you going to encourage drilling if you discourage the fracking?
Encourage drilling?
Yes,
Oh, I'm not encouraging drilling.
you're not.
No, sir.
That's the second part of my question.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm.
The local landowner, the farmer.
I think you need to drill gas wells, don't you?
Well, yeah.
More gas wells?
Yes.
You're thinking disposal wells, and he's thinking gas wells.
I'm against both Class 2 salt brine injection wells as well as the practice of fracking. I'm firmly against fracking as a method of sourcing energy. I think right now in modern society we've got a lot of other great options, clean energy options for renewables, and yes, I would not vote in favor of any legislation to increase drilling. No, sir.